there's like this pop of flavor as soon as you
yes.
eat the bean. It is amazing. If you guys get the chance to grow your own green beans and can them or eat them fresh, that is
fantastic.
So much better than what you can get in the grocery store. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to can some green beans. I'm Dawn and I'm living the Newcomb life. So today, as you can see, in our tunnel here, we have tons of green beans that need to be picked. We've already picked, we have about 2.5 gallon bags of green beans in the refrigerator, but we're going to do a last minute pick before we go ahead and can.
Yeah. Yeah, just one picking. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. So these are the bags that we picked like a couple of days ago. We have 2 gallon bags and then there's about a half a gallon bag here on the counter. And then this is what we just picked, which we think maybe we just doubled our amount of green beans. So we're gonna get these all cleaned up. We're gonna get them cut into the right size pieces and we're gonna get ready to can. I'm just washing off the beans. Not that there's really anything on these. We don't put any kind of insecticide or anything on them, but you know, just to get off any residual dirt or anything like that. And the fact that I must have dropped 20 beans on the floor, so everything's getting cleaned and washed and then put into this bowl here. There are our beans. They are beautiful. We have a ton of green beans.
Yep.
We have our jars that have been boiled and sterilized, along with our rings and our lids. Everything is hot. We have a pot of water, just water that we boiled for our jars. And that's what we're going to pour over the beans once we load our jars. So right now what I'm going to do is we're going to pull all the jars out of here. So these jars were given to us by my son-in-law's family, and they are actually not quart jars. They are about a pint and a half jar. So
they're made by Atlas. It's an Atlas mason jar. Not sure if that's going to pick up at all, but apparently these were made in the 60s.
Well, they stopped making them in the 60s.
Yeah, so they stopped making them in the 60s. So we have no idea how old these are, but we thought they were kind of cool, and Dawn wanted to use them, so we're going to use them.
Okay, so that is all of our jars. So we are going to put our beans in our jars, and we're just going to load them up. So what we want to do is load them within an inch of the top. Can you use the glove to kind of get them to... Yeah, we've got to put salt in all the jars. We have to put zinc in the jars. So with the zinc, what they were saying is the only difference between canned, you know, like you buy a can of green beans at the grocery store, and home canned green beans is that they add zinc. So we're going to add zinc and see if our green beans will stay nice and vibrantly green.
So this is 50 milligrams.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Just topping these off a little bit.
And then it's what, 1 teaspoon of salt?
Yeah.
What kind of salt are we using?
We're using Redmond salt in our beans, so because we love Redmond salt, so all right.
So we're ready to start filling the hot water now.
This out of the way.
So I don't know if you guys have seen any of our other canning videos, but what we do is, in order to get the extra air bubbles out of the jars, we just take this
It's like a little
chopstick that we just have at home that we use, and it works great.
And sometimes, if you can get the air bubbles out, sometimes it will allow the stuff to settle inside the jar, and you'll be able to get a little bit more in there. So
that's not happening here.
Well, that's good. That means that we packed the jars nice and tight.
They are really tight. So you can see that zinc right there dissolving. It just takes maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes for it to fully dissolve. Yep.
Okay, so in order to make sure we get a good seal on these jars, we're just going to wipe the top of the jars with some vinegar and a paper towel. And this just makes sure that anything, like maybe the salt while we were putting it in, or the zinc, or our hands as we touch them, we don't want to leave any oils or anything on there, because that could prevent our seal. So I've wiped off all the tops of the jars, and now we are going to put our lids on.
Put your finger down on it.
And we just want to fingertip tighten our jars. Uh-oh. That doesn't fit on that jar. That might present a problem.
That's 2 of them.
See, it doesn't fit. That's so weird. It's the only one.
Is it the same kind of jar?
It's like... We need to put a little bit of vinegar in our water in our pressure cooker, and that prevents, it's about a tablespoon, that prevents the minerals from ruining the inside of the canner, but also from clinging to the outside of our jars and ruining our jars. So we're going to go ahead and put all of our jars in the canner. This is my grandmother's. It's probably nearly as old as I am. We're gonna get this
Okay guys, so for this pressure cooker, once it's closed, you turn the heat on high, and then for our elevation you use a 10-pound weight and you put that on, and then once the pressure cooker gets up to pressure, it'll start shaking this weight vigorously. You start your 25-minute time clock then, and then you turn the heat down, trying to get the vent exhaust to happen about 4 times per minute. But you really want to minimize the amount that you're putting the heat up and down, because you want to maintain as much of a constant pressure that you can in that pressure cooker. And then once you hit that 25-minute time frame, you just turn the heat off and let it sit for at least probably about 30 minutes to let everything cool off, and then we should be able to take that lid off. All right guys, so it has been about 25 minutes and the weight has just started shaking, so I'm going to turn it down now. We're going to start the new timer for 25 minutes. I don't think you want to turn it down that much. So the object now is to try to get it to release steam 4 times in a minute.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, well, we're gonna wait our 25 minutes and come back and see what we look like.
All right guys, so we just hit 25 minutes. I'm gonna turn the flame off and we're gonna restart the timer now for another 25 minutes. And once that 25 minutes is done, we'll be able to take the lid off and hopefully show you guys how awesome that these green beans look. All right guys, so it's been a little over 25 minutes. We're at about 27 minutes now. So we're gonna go ahead and take that weight off. And I don't know if it's picking it up on the sound there, but you can hear it releasing the rest of the pressure, right?
Yeah.
So we're just going to let that go until we don't hear it anymore, and then it should be safe to take that lid off.
We're gonna let it go for another 15 minutes and come back up and check it. And we'll get back with you guys then.
All right, so the extra 15-minute timer just went off. There's absolutely nothing coming out anymore, and the top is moving.
Wow, look at how pretty and green they look.
Wow.
Wow, they look amazing.
So that's right out of the pressure cooker.
Nice and green.
Wow,
and
look at that.
healthy and
They look
delicious.
awesome.
They look so good.
All right, so that'll do it for our first batch. Not quite sure exactly how many more we're going to get, but I think we're going to do a second batch of the quart jars and go from there.
Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So for you, it'll just be a few seconds, but for us, it'll be tomorrow. So we'll see you back here tomorrow.
All right, guys, so as you can see, all of those green beans came out to be 14 quart size jars. We just pulled the last 7 out. These are the ones back here. They're still really hot, but it looks like all of them have sealed up to this point.
Yep, looks like it.
Everything looks great. What did we learn, and what would we do, if anything, differently?
Well, the one thing that we did learn was that putting a tablet of zinc in the jars does keep the green beans very green. I don't know if you've ever seen home canned green beans, but they kind of turn an olivey green color, where these are bright green.
Yeah.
So the zinc definitely kept the green beans green. I guess we'll see over time if it continues to stay green. The one thing that I noticed when packing the jars, that if you can keep the green beans at about 1.5 inches, you can pack them in the jar a little bit easier.
Oh, so the size of the bean, when you snap them, you want to snap them to about 1.5 inches.
Yeah, I had a couple that were kind of long, and they ended up kind of binding up the jar and keeping the beans from settling in well.
And you do want to make sure to pack them as tightly as you can get, because we put boiling water in with ours, and just that amount of heat made the green bean settle and kind of shrink a little bit. But so one
other thing is, when you're putting your liquid in the jars, to fill it up to about 1/2 inch from the edge of your jar. Give it about 1/2 inch headspace, because we did notice that once we canned them, the water settled. So you can see this one, the water is down to here, and so the more you put in there, the better coverage you'll get of your green beans.
Yeah, and some of it may have siphoned out. We don't know, but
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Yeah.
But everything went very smoothly. I would guess, and we didn't weigh it, but I would guess we had about 5 gallons of green beans picked without them being cleaned or anything. And then it made, so we have 7 quart jars and 7 1.5 jars.
Right.
So,
which are the ones up front? The quarts are back here.
Just slightly smaller. Great
all in all,
experience. Easy.
It really just takes time. Like most of this stuff, it might seem a little intimidating, but once you dive right in, it's not difficult.
I think the hardest part is getting all the canning stuff out in the new season, because we didn't have any of the canning stuff out. We store it away during the winter, and I think the hardest part was getting everything out and making sure we had everything. The actual canning process was super easy.
Really easy.
Yeah. So, good day of canning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're adding to our store of foods.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and it's healthy and no preservatives, no junk.
And we'll have more canning videos to come.
So guys, after a long day of preserving food and canning and baking, it's time for a taste test.
Did somebody say taste test? All right, so we made some pork chops that we're going to have with our green beans. When we popped the can, we noticed they smelled.
Oh, so good.
They smelled exactly like fresh cut green beans.
Yeah. And they're just like, you can see them, how green they are. Yeah. I mean, I think they're even more green than the ones you buy at the grocery store in a can. And these are so much more healthy for you.
So the only thing that we did was we added some butter and salt.
Yeah, I didn't even put salt on mine. I just put butter on it.
I eat salt with my green beans, so.
They look delicious and they smell amazing. Oh. So flavorful.
How do you describe that? They're unbelievably flavorful. They're like regular green beans from a can are soft and mushy. These are soft but not mushy. They're not quite firm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to explain it,
but it has a good feel in your mouth.
They're not mushy.
There's
at all.
Like this pop of flavor as soon as you eat the bean. It is amazing. If you guys get the chance to grow your own green beans and can them or eat them fresh,
that is fantastic.
So much better than what you can get in the grocery store.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing.
It's great.
That is absolutely fantastic. But all right, guys, we have to finish dinner, so we're going to go ahead and close out this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's free and it really helps our channel grow. And hit that notification bell so you're up to date on all of our upcoming videos. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.
We love you guys. Bye.